Hi everyone, welcome to my Majesty video. Every so often when I find myself recommending a game, often to a lot of people, I like to make a video as to explain just kind of why I like the game so much and why I recommend it, especially if the concept behind the game is a little more complicated than just, oh, this is an RTS game, this is an RPG game, this is a, that sort of game. And Majesty kind of fits into that classification. It is an RTS with RPG elements, fantasy setting in case you couldn't tell, but you have no direct control over your units, and that may seem really weird, but it actually works really well, especially if you're someone like me who I really don't like micromanaging my units anyways. I tend to focus more on the economic side of things. And if that's the sort of thing that you like, then Majesty will probably appeal to you. Came out in 2000 or 2001, and this is actually the HD version that you can get on Steam. That was released a couple years ago, just adds some resolution options and whatnot. So what I'm going to do is hop into just one of the tutorial missions to start. If you can do, these are all just the missions, different things that you can go along and unlock. You can do freestyle missions, which basically they let you choose your starting forces, enemy forces, special events, things like that. It also has multiplayer as well. But to start out, I just wanted to show you one of the tutorial missions, just because this game, the amount of enemies the game throws at you can ramp up really quickly, and when you're trying to explain basic concepts of the game, that doesn't work so well. So we're going to go into just the very beginning quest, and just kind of start from there.
Forgive the intrusion, Highness, but we've been robbed. Someone has stolen the
So yeah, they employ this Sean Connery-esque voice actor, which I find funny. Some people it'll probably drive them nuts, but he's there whether you like it or not. And the reason I want to show you, I'll show you afterward a freestyle quest, just because these initial quests do have restrictions. So for example, I can't build warriors or wizards in this. So I'll show you those guys later. Anyway. Okay, so here we are. This is just the world map. The tutorial quest does start you out with some buildings, and there's little notes on top of them to kind of tell you what the different buildings do. So you got your palace, and then you've got your blacksmith, little guardhouses that'll spawn guards and fight off guys. The core of what you want to do, though, are these guilds. These are where you get your hero units from. And you can build new ones. So if I click on my palace and go to buildings and scroll down, I can also build a Rangers Guild. I already have a Rogues Guild, so I'm going to build a Rangers Guild as well. The different units do have different kind of AIs. So, for example, Rangers will tend to explore a lot. Like I said, you have no direct control over your units, so all this dark space out here, if I want to go explore it, I probably should just get some Rangers, just because they'll kind of do that naturally on their own.
Your Highness, if our kingdom is to prosper, it needs...
Sean Connery's telling me I need some more heroes, so I'm going to go ahead and start recruiting some rogues. Rogues are nice, they deal decent damage. They will sometimes steal from you, so you have to keep that in mind. The way you make money is you'll have these little tax collectors that walk around, and they'll go to the different buildings, and you'll notice under each of the buildings it'll say coffers hold however much gold right now. My blacksmith doesn't have any gold. Most of my buildings have no gold right now because people haven't been paying taxes. He's actually going down to the inn, and he's going to collect that 67 gold, or 119 now, because some guys stopped there. And then he will slowly try and make his way back to the guardhouse to deposit that money, and then it'll actually go up into my treasury. He doesn't. Oh, no, he got killed by the Medusa. Like I said, the game starts throwing guys at you pretty quick. So I'm gonna... Oh, that was the sound of a rogue dying, sad. So I'm gonna just start pumping out a few more units just to get things to calm down a little bit. Okay, so you see this one actually says the guild is full. Each building only supports typically 4 heroes. Some of them do more, some do... Well, I don't know if any of them do more, but some of them do less. So, like, for example, dwarves, you can only have 3, things like that. Yeah, you'll see my rangers, he's just going around exploring. He found some treasure chests. If you actually click on your hero, you can look at his stats. So if you look at the bottom of the screen there, as I mouse this stuff over, it'll say longbow 6. That's just the attack of his longbow and his armor. You can look at his stats. I'll show you what each of these stats are. Items that he's carrying, they can buy potions, they can buy all sorts of things. They can even cast spells once you build a library. So I'm actually going to build a marketplace because I want my heroes to be able to buy healing potions so that when they're out there killing things, they'll be able to heal themselves. If you do click over them too, it'll also show you what they're doing. So for example, right now he's berserking. He may just die. Oh, it says he's fleeing because of injuries now.
I join the wild spirits.
The AI is generally pretty good. Sometimes they will get themselves into trouble thinking they can handle more than they actually can, but for the most part, they're not too bad. Which is good, because when the AI is... when you have no control and the AI is controlling everything, you need it to be up to the job.
My gold alone.
Rogues are getting slaughtered by something. No idea what. Anyways, I'm gonna keep recruiting these guys. You'll notice too, as they attack, they are leveling up. The bigger the thing they're attacking, the faster they level up. So this guy's having free reign attacking this Medusa, and he's leveling up quite quickly. He just hit level 5. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to my marketplace.
My gold alone.
The leave my gold alone, yeah, that's every single time you hear that, a rogue is dying. The game is actually pretty nice about giving you those sorts of audio cues to let you know when a hero dies. You can eventually resurrect them later on, but for now I just have to keep recruiting more. Anyways, now I have healing potions. Let's see if I can follow one of my guys and see them actually buy some. Looting gravestones, looting gravestones. Looks like they're all going to loot this Medusa gravestone, but it just died. Purchasing healing potions. Never mind, fleeing in terror. He got scared of all the stuff that was around the marketplace. And again, this is the tutorial mission. It can be pretty rough. It's, I mean, the only reason stuff isn't going as well as it otherwise would be is just because I'm trying to explain things as I'm going, and I don't want to just fly by doing everything without telling you what I'm doing right then. I was just researching arrows so that my stupid guardhouses can actually fire arrows at things that are nearby.
Your Highness, we've improved the guardhouse.
Please tell me I've improved my guardhouse. Okay. So I do believe we actually have, yeah, a couple guys here that are purchasing healing potions, and you'll see when they actually come out of the marketplace, they'll have some healing potions in their inventory. So yeah, he bought 5 healing potions. One thing I like you can do too is, say I want to follow a particular hero. I do this with my mages a lot because they're really fun to watch. You can just click that little button and it will put him down on this little mini thing here, and you can just, it'll show you up on the mini map too where he is and where you're following him. And as you go along, I mean, I can upgrade my palace. There's not just rogues and rangers. Like I said, you know, this particular map doesn't even let you have warriors or wizards. And then even as you upgrade, you get access to different temples, which allow you different heroes as well. There's no different races, really, in the game. So a lot of RTS games, you know, take StarCraft, you'll have your Zerg, your Protoss, and your Terran. This only has the one race, but there are different upgrade paths in a single game which are mutually exclusive. So as soon as this finishes building, I'll show you. If I go to my buildings, you notice all of these temples just made themselves available. And some of them are mutually exclusive. So for example, if I go Temple of Crypta, And I click more information. It says I can recruit priestesses. Grants the spell Wither. Does it actually say here what it proves? No, but I'll just tell you because I know. Crypta will prevent you from building a temple to Crom, a temple to Daros, or a temple to Agrila. Just because it's a path that you choose in each game. And depending on what types of enemies, you may decide to go one way or the other. So for example, if I were to build a temple to Crypta, she would be able to sort of take control of these little skeletons that are wandering around here. So that might be nice. If I were to do that, I would also get a temple to Fervus, which would... I think they can actually mind control these little Medusae. But anyway, just to give you an idea of the different kind of paths. Crom, it just gives you these big hunky barbarians, but Crom doesn't play nice with anyone else, so when you build a temple to Crom, it says, you can see there at the bottom, it says that it requires no other temples are present. So he likes doing his own thing. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and hop out of this game just to show you what a more general game is like. So do freestyle quest. I'm going to do manual settings. I personally like the new settlement, which just starts you with a castle and nothing else. You can have all these different, start you with a level 1 palace, Hall of Champions, Warrior Guild, and a level 2 guardhouse. I just like starting straight from the beginning. 10,000 gold seems like fairly standard. If you do it with 30,000, you could build almost all the way up to level 3 palace without having to worry about gold, and it just kind of takes some of the economic challenge out of it. Enemy forces, I'll do skeletal hordes, wandering monsters. I kind of want to do goblin war parties or something a little more advanced, but I'm worried that I'll just get overrun, and all I'm trying to show you guys is maybe we'll do special events. Let's do respawning Lairs. And then cannon fodder? No, don't want to do that. What about super Lairs? We'll just do respawning Lairs for now. Landscape, that just shows you, basically what type of land. I think this is the snowy kind, which is what I like. You can also edit what buildings are allowed and what aren't. I just leave them all open. Alright, well, let's go ahead. Now we started out here in the lower left. I'm just going to straight out, before I do anything else, build a Warriors Guild. The reason I'm doing a Warriors Guild instead of a Rogues or Rangers Guild is that I know that I put skeletons on this map. Now, I didn't show you previously, but skeletons are really good at dodging arrows naturally, and both Rogues and Rangers they shoot arrows. So I'm going to have my little peasants go over and build up my Warriors Guild and get some warriors going just as a basic defense. The reason I put it off to the side here as opposed to right in front is that I'm actually going to put my marketplace right in front. The reason I do that is to minimize the route that the tax collector has to go in order to collect from my marketplace and then put it back in my house, in my palace.
Highness, if our kingdom is to prosper, it needs more heroes.
As you do upgrade your palace, dude, you do get more like palace guards, tax collectors, peasants, things like that, just to make overall management easier. You're not always stuck with 2 peasants for the entire game. Okay, so here's a skeleton. If you look, his dodge is excellent. So that's against
Your Majesty, a new building is complete.
Rangers, rogues, anything with a ranged attack. So I'm going to just get some standard warriors out there. I'm also going to research healing potions like I did before, and now let's get some more guys out. Gnome hovel. Gnomes are basically just like extra peasants. I don't really like them because they do exclude you from getting dwarves or from getting elves. So I'm going to put a Rangers Guild somewhere. There we go. And then I will also build a Rogues Guild.
I serve with pleasure.
One thing you'll want to do too is on each of your tax collectors it shows the minimum that will have to be in a building's coffer in order for the tax collector to go there. Now you'll notice as we keep building, these little houses keep popping up and they'll have like 10, 15 gold. If you want them to skip those houses and just go to your big buildings, which is what I usually do, I'll usually put that around 100. You see, he'll go to the marketplace, and it's just a nice, easy, short trip for him to go there and back to pick up all the money from the marketplace. Okay, got our Rangers Guild, so we can start exploring the map a little bit. Now, if you'll notice, I am starting to run just a little low on money. As soon as my heroes, though, go out and start killing things and come back, yeah, see? And they'll start purchasing healing potions. That will actually make my marketplace generate more money. It's this sort of symbiotic relationship you've got with your heroes where you put money into the marketplace, into the blacksmith. Speaking of which, I should get a blacksmith. So that they can get better things, but then they pay you money for those things. And so the economy is actually really kind of interesting to follow because it's just this sort of circular economy. I mean, gold just flows kind of back and forth and then back into your palace. Okay, as soon as we get... Oh no, I can actually already upgrade my palace to earned 3,000 gold. Oh, the reason that lessened, you probably noticed this went down to 2850 from 3,000. That's a benefit of the blacksmith as well. Buildings cost less, including upgrading your buildings. Let's go ahead and do that. I'll upgrade my palace. That'll just... I'll get one more ranger out there. I mean, these warriors, they really do just make short work of skeletons. They're just nice, kind of tanky units for these guys to sort of fall behind. One thing I really like about the AI, too, is they will take into consideration the enemy they're facing, their type of defense, so that even though skeletons aren't terribly difficult, in terms of, like, if you were to give a skeleton a level of difficulty, and, you know, these little warriors can make mincemeat out of them, generally my ranged units are scared to death of skeletons. See, like, he just ran away from this little skeleton just because he knows he wouldn't be able to take him, because it just would take him forever to even hit the skeleton with his arrow. So I like that they did that. It means that your ranged units won't sit there trying to plink away at skeletons doing absolutely nothing while this level 1 unit essentially destroys them. Let's research some weapon upgrades. We'll get some rogues. I also got a second tax collector for upgrading my palace. You can click over there, it'll show you all the different guys you have.
I join the wild spirits.
Poor level 4 ranger. I think he was actually one of the highest level 1s. Stupid goblins. What I want to do is show you some of the temples. Actually, wow, ooh, if I could get a Mage's Guild up, that would be nice. Or Wizard's Guild. Those are expensive. Wizards have this sort of they're sort of the D&D style wizards where they start off really weak. I mean, they have, I think, starting off 4 hit points, which is level 3 warriors 29, level 3 rangers 25. They start off with 4 hit points. basically get one-shot by anything. They start off really, really weak, but towards the end, they'll start casting things like Meteor Storm, just blowing up things left and right, if you can actually keep them safe as they get past that sort of nurturing stage. Something I may actually do, there's this button down here from rogues that are at a rogues guild. It's called Extort. Basically, it just circumvents your tax collectors having to go around and collect all the money. It just instantly gives me 200 or 300 gold for the right now, at a cost of 130 more or less right now. Although, you know, my tax collectors almost have enough to get me a wizard's guild, so I'll just wait. It's just a way, if you're in a pinch for money, to get some money quickly. It's not the, like, your tax collectors will make you more money than using Extort will over time, so you don't want to do it a lot, but sometimes you just need that extra gold straight away. Okay, let's build Wizard's Guild. Wizard's Guild actually are built by magic, not by peasants. Kind of nice, you peasants can be busy doing other things while your magical buildings are building. But I think you kind of get the idea of what the game is like. Now, if it seems fairly simple, just understand that I kept it very simple just for the purposes of demonstration. There are some quests where, I mean, you have minotaurs and dragons knocking at your door within 30 seconds, and you have to find out a way to deal with it before it just wrecks all of your stuff. Naturally, the enemies I chose were beginner enemies, just because I didn't want to get overwhelmed while I was explaining what I was doing.
The royal treasury is nearly empty.
As far as the multiplayer goes, you can do both cooperative and PvP multiplayer. I have a friend, we play cooperative every so often. It's kind of fun because then you can really ramp up the challenge. You'll generally spawn still at opposite sides of the map, but it is really enjoyable to take down foes that you might not otherwise be able to just in a solo setting. There's no differentiation when you make a multiplayer game between whether or not the game is going to be cooperative or counter, or not, what would it be, PvP. But the way you do PvP, is that you do reward flags, which I can't believe I forgot that until now. Reward flags are the one way you have of incentivizing your units to do what you want. So say I wanted a ranger or someone to go explore all the way out here. I could double click this little area. It's just you basically give your heroes a quest. And right now I'm not offering anything as a reward, so no one wants to go out here and scout. I can bump that reward up to 100 gold. See if anyone's interested in it. Probably not, it's just too far for too little. If I do 200 gold, sometimes it takes a second, like maybe they'll be fighting a unit and the AI hasn't really given them a chance to see if they're interested. Let's bump it up to 300. Still nothing. Usually you don't have to go this high. I wonder if it is just because it is such a large map that they're not really interested. Another behavior of rogues that I kind of like is that they tend to respond to reward flags. Okay, here we go. So yeah, we got a rogue who's greedy, and oh nope, he must have run into something that scared him off, so he's no longer interested. The reward wasn't good enough apparently. Some more rogues out. Okay, so yeah, we got a level 1 rogue who thinks he's gonna go out and get it. And it's nice, you can actually click on him and it'll show you, okay, Dougzy is going out to get it. This little guy right here. And he's fleeing in terror because he found something else. Anyway, so you can do exploration reward flags, but say I just didn't like this creature den spawning stupid things every now and again. Or maybe this rust spitter is giving my guys a headache, or maybe I'm even being attacked at home. Maybe a troll spawned out in the sewer and I need to kill it before he, you know, murders all of my tax collectors. What you can do is double click them, and it gives an attack reward. It's funny, this ranger happened to be killing it not because of the reward, but just to kill it, but he got the reward, the 300 gold anyways. And again, this shows kind of an interesting way the economy works. He got 300 gold for finishing that quest. He is now going in to... Wow. Oh, they found a vampire. He is now going into the blacksmith to purchase a weapon. He'll have to pay taxes on that weapon. My tax collector will then come and collect those taxes. So eventually you do actually get some of that money back. Just kind of a nifty way that works. Anyways, let's get some more wizards out. This vampire is going to be a pain. Like you'd expect, vampires do have life-drinking attacks. Which is why he was able to kill all of those warriors without taking hardly any damage. And wow, he's ballsy. He's just coming in to kill all my stuff right now. See if I can put some more money on him. Get some guys to attack him. Oh wow. My wizard thinks he can take him! Get him! And he cast Spell Reflection on himself, and my wizard killed himself. Great! Everybody went down. Oh, there's another one. Damn! That's good. Those guys out.
I'm melting!
I hate vampires.
Leave my gold alone.
He just made my other wizard kill himself. Again, it's 500 gold for each of those damn wizards. They do get really good. But, like I said, they have 4 hit points. They're really weak, especially when you're fighting a mob that can reflect spells back at you. Okay, next thing up. If you're still watching this, I can only assume it's just because you want to see some of the later units. What I'll actually do, as soon as these guys are done buying healing potions, I'm going to do what's called a market day in my market, which instantly puts gold into my market's coffers, but it shuts down the market for a little while. So it gives me an extra 130 gold for this tax collector to come by and grab, and then he'll hop in here and do all that. Let's get a temple to Crypta up.
My service ends.
Really like Crypta, especially if you have skeletons and undead on the map. They're kind of like undead priestesses that will... She has her own skeletal kind of companion that'll tank for her, and then she does magic damage behind it. Just gonna save up my money so that maybe do another market day. Yeah, trolls have this nasty habit of punching your marketplaces to death.
Your Majesty, a new building is complete.
Okay, let's get a priestess out. And there is actually a level 3 palace that you can get, along with 2 more temples that are also mutually exclusive to one another. If you'll notice down here too, these are spells I can cast for money. Ever since I got my Wizard's Guild up, I could cast like Farseeing, which I can't actually cast it very far because my Wizard's Guild isn't very upgraded. But the wizard spells, they do have a distance that you can cast them within. Whereas the temple spells, I got Wither because I built my temple to Crypto. I can cast that anywhere on any enemy unit. It just slows them down, essentially, makes them weaker. So let's get some more priestesses out. She's seems to be doing well. You can see that's her little skeleton that's running around killing everything while she's off buying stuff. As they do level up too, they do get new abilities. I don't know if there's a way to find that out before they actually are that level, but they do get more. Like, for example, I know the Temple to Fervus gives you these kind of little green guys. They can go around and kind of mind control normal beasts, so they'll mind control rats, they'll mind control bears, they'll mind control all sorts of other little things. But eventually they also get the ability to shapeshift and fight themselves with a lot of, they become these nice tanks and whatnot. Anyways, so basically this game would just go on until I had cleared out all of these monsters guilds and all of these different abandoned castles. It does get really interesting. You'll notice I was checking out some of those events as I was making this quest. The only one I chose was respawning Lairs, but you can get some really interesting events where all of a sudden, randomly the game will just throw a lot of guys at you all at once, just to make it so that even though, your town is progressing, the challenge also progresses with you. For example, even on the skeletal hordes, the game, decided to throw a couple vampires my way, which roasted most of my wizards. But they did that, once I was a little ways into the game, because they knew that I just wouldn't be able to handle it that early on. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Just because there's not really much more to show you. The game is available on Steam for $10. Again, I would recommend Majesty Gold HD on Steam. I don't know if the HD version is available on GOG. I think it was kind of a thing that they did in collaboration with Steam. So I do believe it's a Steam exclusive, but it's only $10, and I do think it's worth it to get the HD version just to get the extra resolutions and whatnot. And I hope you'd enjoyed the video. It's a really great game. I mean, just a really good mishmash of RTS and RPG with a fantasy twist to it.